Over the past couple months, we've seen the Pokemon Battle Leagues come through the Pokemon community and just take it completely by storm on just being a really fun way to just battle the game and meet new people to play with. It becomes really fun and really entertaining for the average viewer. But why am I talking about this? Well, I've had some problems with these Pokemon Battle Leagues for quite a while, and I'll go over those here in a second. Just to get everything started, we know the major ones. We have the MPL, we have the LBA. The new one that's going to be starting soon is the EXPNU. That's going to be pretty big and stand right next to the main one, which is the GBA. Everybody knows the GBA. It's been around since about X and Y started, maybe a little bit before that. I'm not quite sure. But we all even know also that Smogon started these battle leagues way before back to GBA on the forums. You're able to still do the same drafting process. You gather people, and it's all sanctioned through the forum, and it became a great way to do it. A lot of people I've actually talked to, they said, hey, why aren't some of these Pokemon Battle Leagues aren't done through the forums? Because that's still a really organized way to do it. Some people do it through Twitter only or Skype, and it becomes really jumbled up and messy. I'll start with one of my big issues with this. There's a lot of people that get put into this, and it's just a huge commitment. It's really hard to say, okay, well, we got 12 people, and we have about, say, 10 weeks of worth of this. Okay, we got just 10 weeks devoted to just battling, and that's a lot of time to prepare the Pokemon and a lot of people to battle. Now, how will all these people actually come through with this? A lot of people do have their own personal lives. Things, family issues comes up. Who knows? Other people might be able to drop out. I think a lot of people have dropped out on this before. Quite a few on some of the other leagues. Especially, I see the LBA that has 32 teams. That is going to be quite a hard task to go through. Everything's separated between the two 16 teams, but altogether it's 32 teams, and it's going to be really hard to organize all of this. Even the GBA with 12 people, it seems kind of hard to organize because you have 12 people that will always have some kind of problem, and then you have an equal number of people that have to try to resolve some kind of issue. There really isn't a lot of democracy on this. We can also see some favoritism on this because we know that all the people that are in, say, the GBA or some of the EXPNU, they're already friends before all this, or at least they knew somebody from an outside person, or said, hey, this person's really cool, let's bring him in. And so we can see some kind of favoritism, some kind of exclusiveness, and it doesn't really give the average player to come in and do this. But who would want to see some regular guy, like a fan or viewer, come in and try to be one of those people? So we want to see the entertainers be the people that are already entertaining us to make it more entertaining, obviously. So we can see it can be kind of view grabby. We can see these leagues want to just be those attention, like, oh, this is going to be the big battle of the week. We all know, like, this big PokeTuber is going to battle this other big PokeTuber. We have this really experienced competitive battler against this other guy. We're going to have some kind of upset. Who knows, like that. These leagues really try really hard to become sports. We can see they have their own draft system, a trading system, analysis. They have talk shows, things like that. Even the EXPNU sounds like ESPN, obviously. No joke aside there. But they even said how they're going to try to be like ESPN as close as possible. There's going to be stream battles, just like, you know, like on a regular TV thing. There's going to be commentators. And also there's going to be a lot of teams that do this. They have their own logos. They're going to have shirts, shops, things like that. It just becomes a big crazy mess. How it's going to be really astounding to see if they actually go through with all this. I would like to see things like these go through, be fulfilled. But we obviously know back a few months when the GBA had their third season, obviously they had two good seasons. The first two seasons were kind of good for the most part. But when we got in the third season, for one, a lot of people just trash talking, a lot of animosity, a lot of hate. Some people said, oh, we want to bring this guy, but they brought in this other guy and said, where's Magnitude, where's Steve, where's this guy? Obviously, you do have one of the coaches who should also act as the commissioner. He's got to act as the figurehead. He's got to act as the one in charge, but he leaves that to other people, and then other people don't trust those people. And we can see the problems already happening. Now, even back before that Season 3 shit show, we saw that a lot of people I've talked to that were in the first two seasons, they said even the drafting system had problems of its own. Because if you were going to start in the first season, you're able to draft one Pokemon and keep it for 3 seasons. Or I think it was one, 2 or 3 seasons. So you're able to keep that Pokemon for a while. And you're able to keep other Pokemon for also an extended amount of time too. So pretty much if you win and you're going to come back in the next season, you are already a heavy favorite to win again because you still have most of your same team. Now, how does that help, say, me, who would be coming in and trying to become a new coach and want to pick good Pokemon, or I would want this one, but obviously he's got that other one. I wouldn't say I need it, but it would be nice for me to have, or at least a chance to have other good Pokemon. But no, all the other coaches have their Pokemon. Another problem we already see with that. So already the returning coaches highly favorited already. And we can see a lot of the new ones in this current GBA season that are a bit new, and they aren't doing so well. So back to the Season 3 part, how a lot of the smaller channels beating up on the bigger channels, and some of the bigger channels saying that it was too competitive. Now, you can go both ways on that. Yes, it would suck to see something as fun as this that get creative, get created because it's creative, and just to say that it's too competitive, or these people are trying too hard. That just feels like an excuse at some point. But yes, if you are in this, you must take it seriously at some point, and you have to prepare your teams week in, week out. So who knows how much the other person prepares? That's all on you. So it's maybe your fault. Who knows? But even so, a lot of people try to protect themselves by saying and making some of those kinds of excuses. From what I just saw a bunch of just back and forth trash talk excuses, things like that, and a lot of things were has the final say. There's no democracy in all of this. Everybody was probably in a Skype call just saying, oh, I want this, or this guy should probably get kicked. I don't want this guy. I don't like the way this is. The drafting sucks. We should just restart. And that's what they ended up doing, is they just scrapped the whole season, and then they waited and just started a new season like nothing ever happened. I find that a bit odd. They pretty much said, okay, we're going to start a new drafting system, and that's it. So now we have the Season 4 of the GBA coming through, and they came out with a whole new drafting system on how you're restricted through tiers, how you have to start from the OU tier, then you go through the borderline tier, then UU, RUNU, and then you restart. So we see that is a bit better. Also, it gives way to the new guys to pick their new Pokemon, but obviously the newer coaches that are coming in, they might not be experienced, they might not know what to pick. So a lot of the returning guys, they already have their plan set out. Okay, if I have my good idea what team I want, then they go for it. And we see how a lot of the returning coaches that are there now, they're already doing a really good job, as they already know what to do. And it doesn't really give a lot of ease to the newer people, as I said before. Also, going back to the democratic part of this, I've actually talked to quite a few people about this. They even said how a lot of the ideas that they came up with just got all out shut down. Even back in Season 1 and 2, when they said that there was problems with the drafting system, there was also others saying how, hey, why don't we just make the battles just stream a little bit more on the GBA? We just do 1 or 2 a week. We do the championship, maybe the main battle, we stream that. Or if there's a really big PokeTuber battling somebody else and it turns out to be a good battle, we start streaming that. There's ways of doing that, but they never did. So there's one thing there, how a lot of the great ideas that would have been awesome just get shut down. Now we see with this new season, then they start their own YouTube channel. They have all the talk shows, all the analysis. We see it get a little better, but who knows what's going to happen on the final battle. And will it be streamed? Who knows? But that would be one great thing to see. Player voting, I think there was like a prediction thing, and there's a bit more fan engagement on it. But one thing I saw coming out of the EXPNU, the one that's probably going to stand next to GBA, and depending on how it goes, it might be even better, is they already have every team's getting a fresh new logo made. They're going to have their own shop. They have all their own merchandise. There's going to be another YouTube channel, but they're going to take care of that one more. From what they said, there's going to be a lot better commentators. There's going to be actual shows, more analysis shows, a lot of people talking about it. And they're going to have fan voting through Twitter, I would have to believe, on a game of the week, and then they actually stream that battle. So you're going to see every week there's going to be those stream battles, which something that the GBA should have been doing. So we actually might even see a lot of maybe problems come through on the GBA saying, oh, all the XPNU was taking all our viewers because we already had all those viewers. Now we have all of them taken, because we see the XPNU has quite a few big name PokeTubers already in it, so that already has some attention attracted to it. And we already see how now they're going to stream. They're going to be more I guess, vocal about everything. They're going to be more open to it. They're going to want to show us everything. It's going to be more entertaining. Who knows? All the other smaller leagues like the MPL and the LBA, who knows how well those are going to go, because they have quite a few teams in them. 1632, that's a lot of people. And they can see that also the XPNU and the GBA just standing just completely tower overing them. And who knows, they might not even finish out summer season. Some of the people might even be like, well, I'm just going to drop out of this and try to get in the next one later on. Who knows? But again, like I said about how exclusive it is, it might be hard for the average PokeTuber to get in, even if you weren't even a PokeTuber to begin with or anything like that. So these are a few of the problems I see. I could see maybe once this EXPNU thing comes out, we're going to maybe see the GB either embrace it, say, awesome, we like how these Pokemon leagues coming through, it's really great to see, or they might completely turn around and say, oh, they're taking our viewers and all of our popularity is just gone. Who knows what's going to happen? But we're all going to get a chance to see that later. Other than that, I thank you guys very much for watching this. I know I don't really do all these AceCasts differently. I might have done this one a bit differently. But other than that, I'm just going to end the video the way I end all my videos. Be sure to check out my other AceCast videos. And keep the discussion going down in the comments down below. Give your thoughts on what you think on the Pokemon leagues, whether or not you think they're good or positive, negative, things like that. Your experiences from watching it, or if you're actually in it, who knows. But other than that, thank you guys very, very much for watching. Good luck in all your next battles, and I'll see you guys next time.